important things in geometry. Because a lot of times students assume things that they're not allowed to assume. I want you to look at this picture and tell me what you think we can assume from this picture. Ooh, there's a triangle. That is A-okay. That is a triangle. You're allowed to assume that. Thank you for raising your hand.
There are right angles.
Ooh, there are right angles. Do you see any right angle markings?
Yeah.
Where?
There's a square.
You see, oh, there's this here that I just wasn't seeing? No. There's no right angle markings there. Ooh, I just erased the circle. Sorry. I don't see any right angle markings. It looks 90 to you, but what if that angle is really 89.9? What if it's not exactly 90? How do you know?
Then that wouldn't be geometry.
No, this is geometry. That might not be a square. Do you think that's a square?
Yes.
We cannot assume that's a square.
Yeah,
How do you know all the sides are congruent? You don't know. So I agree that we can assume that that's a triangle. What else can we assume? We cannot assume 90-degree angles, and we cannot assume that that's a square. Yes? Ooh! Can we assume that I, K, and D are collinear?
Sure.
Are they on the same line? I am not lying to you. They are on the same line. Good job. Collinear.
Would the triangle be coplanar?
Coplanar with what?
With the A, B, and C, because there's an E right in the middle.
Okay, so points A, B, and C are coplanar, but the triangle can't be coplanar. It can't be coplanar with, you need two things to be coplanar. You can't be a co-worker if you're the only person who works in a building. You have to have someone else working there to be a co-worker. Okay. What else can we assume? Can we assume like that J is the midpoint of GH? Do you see tick marks?
No.
I don't see tick marks. Does it look like it's in the middle? Yes. But it's not. We can't confirm that it's in the middle. Yes. We already said we can assume collinear. So don't say that one anymore. That's good. Can we assume that AC is larger than CJ?
No.
Do we have any numbers?
No.
So no, we actually can't use our eyes. We can't even assume that. So just Tan, stop asking us questions. Let's just get down to it. What can we assume and what can we not assume? That's what we have in front of you hopefully right now. All right, midpoint.
Oh, I was writing the one with the
Can or cannot assume? Can't. Unless you have tick marks, unless the problem says that it's a midpoint, then you can't assume. So in your can't column, in the shaded column, the can't, I want you to put midpoint. And then draw a picture of a midpoint. Well, we don't know that B is the midpoint. So just draw a picture like this. We cannot assume that B is right in the middle. It could be in the middle. It could not be in the middle. Bless you. Can't assume midpoint. Oh, the picture needs to go in the, see the shaded all goes together in the, okay. Intersection. Can I assume that BD intersects AC? Do they meet up? Yeah, I can assume that. So put that in the can column. Can assume, put the word intersection. And then draw a picture of two lines intersecting. You don't have to name the lines like I did. Just draw two segments. Oh, okay. This is in the can, but you were already taking it. You're putting that in the can, not. You just be careful. All right. Can. Coplanar. Can we assume that A, B, and C are coplanar? You see them all in the same plane? You're allowed to assume, yes, they are in the same plane. So you can assume that A, B, and C are coplanar. Oh, co means same, and planar means plane. Same plane. Are A, B, and C in the same plane?
In the same square.
In the same, well, a plane goes on forever. In the same parallelogram, yeah. Planes can be squares or rectangles or parallelograms or triangles. Planes can be anything. But it's a flat surface is what a plane is. Flat surface. Okay. Perpendicular. Can I assume that that is hitting the other segment at a 90-degree angle? Not if there's no
Could
marking.
be 80
So
or
this is a can't. Good. This could be an 89-degree angle instead of 90, for all we know. Without measuring and without symbols, that is a cannot assume. And students love to just assume it's 90. Oh, that looks 90. I'll put 90 there. No, siree. Just because it looks 90, you can't put 90. You have to confirm. The problem has to tell you it's 90. All right, next one. Congruent. Can you assume that AB is congruent to BC?
Yeah.
No.
No, because you can't.
What information tells you that they're congruent? Nothing. Without measuring and without the instructions telling you that that triangle is isosceles, you cannot assume it's isosceles. If it was, we would put tick marks. Very good. If there's no tick marks, no game. No tick marks, no congruency. Cannot assume congruent unless you see tick marks. Unless the problem tells you. Unless it says it's isosceles.
I bet you y'all put like an octopus on it.
Why would it be an octopus? Collinear, we already talked about this. Savannah brought it up. Was that good or not good?
Not
Can I assume that these 3 points are on the same line?
good.
Absolutely can. Collinear is just like coplanar. You can assume.
Oh.
Put that in the can column. Can assume collinear, just like you can assume coplanar. Next one. Parallel.
Yeah.
Parallel is going to go in whatever column perpendicular went in, because they go hand in hand. So which column?
Not.
Cannot assume that those are parallel. Now I might not have shown you this before. I do want to show you the symbol. If I want to tell you that they are for sure parallel, the symbol I'm going to put is I'm going to put an arrow in the middle of them like that. But if there's no arrow going through the middle of my line, no, you can't assume they're parallel. What if it's off just a tiny bit? What if they look like they have the same slope, but the slope is slightly different? We don't know until someone tells us.
Never mind.
Okay. Next one, size. I kind of talked about this. Can you assume that AB is bigger than BC because it looks bigger?
No.
No. If I don't give you numbers, if I don't give you actual values, you can't assume size. Can't assume something is larger unless you measure it, unless you know it's larger, or smaller, or shorter, or longer. Which column is filled in more? Can't. So notice, if you're ever having to guess, should I assume or not assume? Where are the odds? Which odds would be in your favor to not assume? Yeah. The odds are in your favor to not assume. We're still going. Location. Can you assume that point A is inside the angle and point B is outside the angle?
Yes.
Yes.
What's that say?
Now, I didn't say where it was inside, right? I didn't say it was in the middle. I'm just saying A is in and B is out.
Yes.
That's a yes.
You
You can assume. Add location to your can list. Location. You can assume. Well, it's called relative location, but I didn't know if you would know that word, like as in if that word would mean anything to you. But relative location means I can assume that A is in my figure and B is out of my figure. That one I'm allowed to. I can't assume where they are, like how far away they are.
I mean, like,
One's in and one's out.
if you physically see it.
Yeah, exactly. Good, good. Ooh, have we seen that word before?
No.
Try to say that word.
Adjacent.
Adjacent. Adjacent. Angle 1 is adjacent to angle 2.
Yeah.
We might not know this word. We're going to learn it next unit. But adjacent means next to. Can I assume that angle 1 is next to angle 2?
No.
Well, they are sharing this ray right here.
Okay,
So I know I keep telling you to not assume. But actually you can assume if things are next door to each other, then they really are next door to each other. They really are right next to each other. Now, I can't assume angle 1 is bigger than angle 2, but I can assume it's next to angle 2. That's different. Size versus location, those are totally different. Adjacent, can assume.